Okay. So in the last class, we were discussing about the secant, the slope of the secant. Okay. So we have taken 2 points on the graph. Okay. And the line joining these 2 points are known as secant. Fine. And how to find the slope of that secant? To find the slope of the secant, we have to draw the triangle here. Okay. Now, if we draw the triangle here, we'll get what? We'll get tan theta is equal to delta y by delta x. Now, if you look at this here, if we see, good morning to you all. Okay, here if we see that we can clearly distinct 2 points A and B. We can clearly say we can clearly point out the coordinate of A and B in this case. Okay, now if I bring this point A close to B, okay, if I bring this point A close to B, okay, so if I bring point A close to B, like if I take 2 point here, if I take 2 point on this curve like this, okay, listen, the points are getting closer to each other. Okay, now if the points are getting closer to each other, then we can see that this is point A, this is point B. Again, we can clearly distinct these 2 points. Okay, we can also find the coordinate of this point. Like coordinate of A will be what? X comma Y. Okay, the coordinate of A is X comma Y, and coordinate of B is how much? X plus delta X, X plus delta X, X plus delta X comma Y plus delta Y. But here if you look at this, the value of delta X and delta Y is reducing here. Okay, now if I find the slope of this curve, to find the slope of this curve, again we have to draw the horizontal line and take the angle theta. Fine, the tan theta will again be equal to what? Delta Y by delta X. But here, now if I bring A and B close to each other, then the value of delta Y and delta X is decreasing. Okay, delta Y and delta X is decreasing. Fine. Okay, so that is tan theta or the slope of this secant. Fine. Now, if I bring these 2 points very, very close to each other, it is so close that we cannot distinct their point. Okay, if I take 2 points very close to each other, like point A and point B, we cannot clearly distinct these 2 points. Now, if I try to draw the secant, okay, then that secant will be the tangent to the curve. Okay, that secant will be the tangent to the curve. Fine. Okay, we can see here that if I have drawn the if I have drawn this uh, if A and B are very, very close to each other, it is so close that we cannot even distinguish these 2 points. Then if we try to draw the secant here, then that secant becomes the tangent to the curve. Okay. Again, can we find the slope of the tangent? Yes, the slope of the tangent, that is tan theta, will be again same delta y by delta x. Okay, because the coordinate of point A is x comma y, and the coordinate of point B is x plus delta x comma y plus delta y. Okay, fine. So these are the coordinates of point A and point B. Now, since A and B are very close to each other, if I draw the secant, it becomes tangent to the curve. Then the slope of that tangent is tan theta. Again, how to find how to find the slope? You have to draw the horizontal line at point A and make angle theta here. Now, we can clearly see that we cannot distinguish A and B. Therefore, we can say that delta y value is very less, and delta x value is also very less. So can we write here as what? Tan theta, the limit delta x tends to 0, means the value of delta x tends to 0. Then if the value of delta x tends to 0, then this delta convert into derivative. Therefore, the tan theta will be equal to derivative of y by derivative of x. Okay, the derivative of y by derivative of x. Understand? Okay, so the tan theta to this curve will be dy by dx. Fine. Okay, I'll repeat again. Okay. See, I hope you have understood the previous part, like first part we have done. If you see the first part, A and B are very, very far away from each other. Okay. The coordinate of A and B is what? Coordinate of A is x comma y. Coordinate of B is x plus delta x comma y plus delta y. Okay. Now, if I draw the line joining these 2 points on the curve and then try to find the slope of this curve, the slope of that secant will be equal to delta y by delta x. We can clearly distinguish delta y and delta x. Okay. Now, if I bring the point A very close to point B, we can see here A and B are very close to each other. Again, the slope of this line will be delta y by delta x. But here also we can clearly distinguish delta x and delta y. But if you look at this condition, when A and B are very, very close to each other, means it is so close that we cannot distinguish these 2 points. Okay. If we cannot distinguish these 2 points, and if we try to draw the secant to the curve, it becomes tangent to the curve. The secant is tangent is a special case of secant. Na? When the line touches the curve. Here also, if A and B are very, very close to each other, okay, A and B are very close to each other, okay, A and B are very close to each other, then the secant we are drawing is almost tangent to the curve. Now again, if I have to find the slope of this tangent, then again tan theta will be equal to delta y by delta x. Fine. Now here delta x is very very less, or we can say delta x is almost equal to 0. When this condition arrives, so if you remember that it becomes infinitely small difference. When it is infinitely small difference, then delta converted into derivative. So tan theta is derivative of y with respect to x. Okay, fine. Okay, okay, I'll be slow. Okay, fine. I hope you understood. So that is what derivative means. In the first class of calculus, I told you what is derivative. Derivative is the slope to the curve. Okay. If any curve is given to us, like parabolic curve or exponential curve, or any curve is given to us, okay, then the slope to the curve at any point is the derivative of the point. Okay, is known as derivative of the point. Understand? Okay. So the slope of this is tan theta, that is dy by dx. Now dy, I told you na, this is infinitely small difference. Okay, when infinitely small difference is there, then delta is converted into derivative. See, in this lecture I have told you that if it is infinitely small difference, then this delta is converted into derivative. Okay, fine. It is a way of representing a very small difference. Okay, fine. So dy by dx is the very small difference. Now this dy by dx is also known as instantaneous rate of change of y with respect to x. Okay, this dy by dx is also known as dy by dx is instantaneous instantaneous change of y with respect to x. Okay, means how, at what rate this y is changing with respect to it x at that particular instant of x. At that x, how this y is changing with respect to x. Okay, now I'll give you very good example for you. Okay, now you will understand better. I think you understood what is derivative. Derivative is basically that if a and b are very, very close to each other, then if we draw the straight line, it becomes tangent to the curve. Now if that tangent, the slope of that tangent is known as dy by dx. Dy by dx is also known as the instantaneous rate of change of y with respect to x, or derivative of y with respect to x. Now if I give you one example, okay, then you will have a better understanding of that. Like I hope you understand about something about speed. What is speed? Speed we define as distance by time. That is speed. Okay, I think you studied in class 8 or 9 what is speed. That is distance by time. Now if I tell you that from Trichy to Chennai. Let us suppose distance is 400 kilometers. It may be more than that. I am assuming that it is 400 kilometers. And you take 8 hours to reach Chennai, from Trichy to Chennai. Then can you tell me what is the speed of this vehicle? That would be equal to distance, that is 400 by 8. That would be how much? That will come as how much? 400 by 8. That is 50 kilometer per hour. Okay, 50 kilometer per hour. Okay. Now can if I tell you that the vehicle will always go with this speed, 50 kilometer per hour, can you say that? We cannot say that. Okay, like when we are starting from Trichy, maybe in the city there will be traffic, so the speed will be less. It would be less than 50 kilometer per hour. But as you go to the highway, the speed will increase. Okay, it would be more than 50 kilometer per hour. Okay, and if when you are reaching Chennai again, your speed will reduce. Therefore, this is known as average speed. Okay, this is known as average speed of the vehicle, that is 50 kilometer per hour. But we cannot say that this vehicle was moving with the speed of 50 kilometer per hour continuously. No, it may be less, it may be more. Okay, but the average speed is 50 kilometer per hour. Now, if I tell you one thing, okay, that you started, if I tell you that, if I tell you that a vehicle at 2 hours, okay, at the 2 hours of the journey and 2 hours 1 minute. Okay, now I have taken a small interval of time. Okay, like if I say that after 2 hours, okay, and 2 hours 1 minute, the vehicle has covered a distance of 900 meter. Okay, can we say that? Okay, means after 2 hours starting from Trichy, okay, and after 2 hours 1 minute, the distance covered by the by the vehicle is 900 meter. Now, what is the average speed now? Again, the same formula we will use. Average speed will be equal to distance, that is 900 meters. Now, time is 1 minute. 1 minute means 60 seconds. So we get 15 meter per second. Now we can see that. Now we can say one thing that okay, in 1 minute from 2 hours to 2 hours 1 minute, the speed of the car was 15 meter per second, which means what I am doing here, I am reducing the time interval. So if you compare with this derivative here, see this derivative here, what I am basically doing here, if I assume x and this y as x and this x as time interval t, then what I am doing in the first case, when I was starting from Trichy to Chennai, the distance covered by me was how much? 400 kilometer. Time was 8 hours. Okay, that was the first case. Second case, what? When I have taken time from 2 hours to 2 hours 1 minute, the distance covered was 900 meter. Basically, what I am doing, I am reducing the time interval. Okay, I am reducing the time interval of the time interval. Now, if reduce the time interval, then I can have an idea that in 1 minute the speed was 15 meter per second. Now further, if I reduce the time interval, like from 2 hours to 2 hours 1 second, okay, the distance covered by the vehicle was 20 meters. Now can you tell what is the average speed in 1 second? Average speed in 1 second was basically 20 by 1, that is 20 meter per second. Now I can say that okay, in 1 second the speed was 20 meter per second, which means if I keep on reducing the time interval, basically I am reaching where? I am reaching the speed of the car at any instant, like at 2 hours. Okay, like now that at 2 hours, wait, okay, at 2 hours and 2 hours 0.001 second. Okay, the distance covered by the car was 0.05 meters. Okay, now what is the average speed? Again, average speed will be what? Change in x, that is how much? Change in x by change in time, delta x by delta time t. Okay, delta x was 0.05 and delta t was 0.001. It will come as 50 meter per second. Now can I say here that if this time interval is very, very small, like 0.001 second, it can be 0.0000 infinite 0 and 1, then I can say that the speed, average speed of this car become the instantaneous speed, instantaneous speed of the car, which means I can say that the speed of the car, the speed of the car at 2 hour was how much? 50 meter per second. Basically, if I reduce the time interval delta t, where I am approaching? I am approaching the instantaneous speed. Instantaneous speed means the speed of the car at particular instant, like 2 hours. At 2 hour 1 second, what was the speed of the car? Okay, that is how we are reaching this instantaneous speed. Okay, so I can clearly say that okay, the speed of the car was 50 meter per second at 2 hours. Why I can say that? Because from 2 hours to 2 hours 0.001 second, the distance covered was 0.05, which means that the speed at that instant was 2 hours. To at 2 hour speed was 50 meter per second. So we can see that in the first case, the interval of time was large. Okay, we can clearly distinguish the interval like delta x by delta t. Okay, that was the average speed. Here also, in the next case also, if you look at that, again we can distinguish the time interval delta x by delta t. Here also delta x by delta t. Fine. But the last case was that delta t is very, very small. Okay. So delta t was very, very small, or I can say delta t approaches to zero. When delta t approaches to zero, the average speed become instantaneous speed. Instantaneous speed. Okay, and that is represented by dy by dx. Okay, that is represented by dy by ds. That is what derivative means. Okay, derivative means to find the rate of change of y with respect to x at that x, means at that value of x, what was the rate of change of y with respect to x. That is known as instantaneous or derivative of a function. Okay, now I hope you understood this example. Okay, what is derivative and what is the usefulness of derivative? Like the example I have given to you. Okay, in y-axis we have distance covered, in x-axis we have the time. Okay, so if I draw, if I say, see, at 2 hours, let us suppose at 2 hours, okay, what was the speed of the car? To find the speed of the car at 2 hours, what basically we have to do? We have to draw the tangent at that point. We have to draw the tangent at that point at 2 hours. Okay, the slope of the tangent will give us the instantaneous speed of the car. See, I have drawn the tangent at this point. Okay, so at 2 hour, what was the speed of the car? That was the slope of this tangent. Okay, it will have particular displacement also, say x. Okay, then or x, or we can say like how much? Uh, 0.05 was the displacement there. So the average speed of this instant, average speed will be equal to delta x by delta t. Now here, limit delta t tends to 0 because the t value is very, very small. Instantaneous speed. So instantaneous speed is basically what? Slope of the curve, that is dy by dx. That is v, is v, instantaneous speed. That is the usefulness of the derivative. Okay, to find the rate of change of x with respect to time at that particular time t. Here, dy by dx means the rate of change of y with respect to x at that particular x. Here, the rate of change of y with respect to x at that particular t is basically instantaneous speed. Okay, so that is the usefulness of the derivative. Okay, now I hope you understood this example. Okay, my voice is audible. My voice is audible or not? Okay, okay. So, yes. So I hope you understood what is derivative here. Okay. With this example, I think you are able to understand what is derivative. Okay. Actually, internet problem was there, so I was not able. My voice was not audible. Okay. So I think you understand what is derivative here. Okay. Now, any doubt is there? You can tell me. Any step if you don't understand, you can tell me now. Okay. See, problem I will give you. I'm just explaining you. I'm just explaining you about what is derivative. Okay, it is just derivative. What is derivative? Derivative is the rate of change of y with respect to x at that x, means at that instant of x. What is the change of x with respect to y? Okay, fine. Y with respect to x. Fine. Now, like I gave you the example. I gave you the example of instantaneous speed. You can see here this graph which I have taken that. See, this is displacement on the y-axis, time on the x-axis. So if I take time t equal to 2r, then what was the speed? We found the speed was equal to how much? 50 meter per second. And how we found the speed? When we draw the tangent to the curve at that particular time t, we get the speed of the instantaneous speed of the curve. Okay. Yes, it would be dx by dt. So instantaneous speed here will be equal to dx by dt. dx by dt. Understand? So I think you understood differentiation. What is a differentiation and how we are finding differentiation. Now there are some rules of differentiation. Means see, its derivation is means you have to remember all this rule. Okay, fine. If you want, I will explain you one derivative how we got this. Otherwise, simply remember the rules. Okay, you don't need to remember. You don't need to go for the that how we got this formulas. Okay, but if you want, I will explain you how I got this formula. Okay, now rules of differentiation, that is very very important. You have to remember the rules of differentiation. The first rule of differentiation is that derivative of constant with respect to x is zero. Constant means differentiation of 2. Okay, differentiation of 2. 2 is a constant. 2, 3, 4, 5, 1.5, 1.3. Any constant c, the differentiation of constant with respect to x will be 0. Now can anyone tell me why it is 0? If you simply think one point, I told you one point that why the derivative of okay, the derivative of constant with respect to x is 0. Now if you think one point, I told you in the graphs we can get the answer for this. See, in graphs I told you that if y is equal to 2, if y is equal to 2, then what was the slope of the curve? The slope of the curve was 0. The slope of the curve was 0. So here basically a slope of a constant, like one example I give you, y is equal to 2. If y is equal to 2, find dy by dx. Okay. Now, if you remember the graph which we have discussed, okay, like this graph, I told you y equal to 2. If this is y, this is your x. If I take y equal to 2, y equal to 2 line will be a straight line which is parallel to x-axis. So this is y equal to 2 line. Okay, y equal to 2 line. Now, can you tell me what is the slope of this curve? The slope of the curve is 0 because it makes a 0 degree with the x-axis. So tan theta will be 0 or slope will be 0. So basically, if y equal to 2, then what is the value of dy by dx? dy by dx will be 0 because 2 is a constant. The differentiation of constant with respect to x is equal to 0. Okay, so that is the first rule of differentiation. that differentiation of a constant is with respect to x is 0, and you have to note all the rules. Okay, fine, and you have to remember all the rules which I am telling you. It is very important. Without this we cannot do the further chapters. Okay, this is very important thing which I am discussing here. The second rule is that differentiation of, okay, second rule is that differentiation of, if function is y equal to x power n, okay, if function is y equal to x power n, okay, then dy by dx is equal to n into x n minus 1. Okay, this is the rule, that dy by y equal to x power n, then differentiation of y with respect to x will be n x n minus 1. Okay, if you take any constant value like 1 2 3 4, any constant value, it should not be function of x. Now I think you know about the function of x. Y is a function of x. Okay, fine. So second rule is that if y equal to x power n, then dy by dx is equal to n into x power n minus 1. Okay, n is any power like n equal to 1 2 3. I give you the example. Okay, this rule is known as power rule. Power rule of the differentiation. Power rule. This is not important what is power rule, but simply understand that if y equal to x power n, then dy by dx is equal to n into x n power n minus 1. Like example, if I give you, if I say, if y is equal to x square, okay, find dy by dx. Okay, then dy by dx will be equal to what? If we apply power rule here, then dy by dx must be equal to 2 into x power 2 minus 1, which is equal to how much? 2x. So answer would be 2x. So basically we are applying the power rule here. Okay, fine. Okay, so the answer would be dy by dx will be equal to 2x. Okay, similarly, if I tell you, if y is equal to x power 5, then what is the value of dy by dx? Then dy by dx will be equal to how much? 5 into x power 5 minus 1, which is 5x power 4. 5x power 4. Okay, that is why I'm telling you now. First rule is that if y is constant, like if y equal to c, y equal to c is any constant. Okay, constant means it is independent of x. Like y equal to 1 2 3 4 5 6, any value you take, minus 1 minus 2 minus 3 minus 4, any rational value, irrational value, any value you take, but it should not be a function of x, means it should not depend upon x. Okay, if that is the case, then the differentiation of constant with respect to x will be 0. Okay, and I prove this also, that when you take the graph y equal to 2, then slope of the graph is 0. Dy by dx is the slope of the curve, so that would be 0. Okay, understood? We can apply for x also. Like very good question you have asked. Like it is not necessary that y is a function of x. Like I can give you example here. See, uh, it can be other way also. Like x is a function of time, or x is a function of y. Like if I say x equal to y square, find dx by dy. So here also we can apply chain rule, that power rule, which state that what, dx by dy will be equal to 2y 2 minus 1. That is what, 2y. So it is not necessary that y as a function of x. It can be other thing. It can be x as a function of y. It can be, yes, it can be x as a function of time. Like one more good example is that uh, when you drop a ball from a height, some height h. Okay, when you drop the ball from some height h, then the equation of a straight line, like if you remember the equation of motion in the when the ball is dropped from the height, it is what, uh, uh, x equal to half gt square, half ut plus half gt square, we can say 5t square. So we can also write here as x equal to 5t square. This is a function here. Now if I have to find dx by dt, that would be equal to what? 10 t square minus 1, that is 10t. Okay, fine. I hope you understand. It can be anything. It can be y as a function of x as a function of y, t as a function of anything we can be there. Okay, it depends upon what function we are using there. If x is constant, then dx by dy will be 0. Same thing. Okay, understood. So it is not necessary that y is a function of x. It can be any value, but I am generalizing from y point of view. Okay, fine. So first rule is that very important. First rule was, when y is constant, then the value of dx, differentiation of constant with respect to x is 0. That is the first rule. Okay. Second rule was that if y is equal to x power n, y equal to x power n, then dy by dx equal to nx power n minus 1. Okay, that is the second rule. Third rule, dx by dx. Okay, see, dx by dx will be what? Differentiation of x with respect to x. Okay, that is what we are doing now. Basically, dy by dx will be what? See, basically what we are doing, what is dy by dx? Dy by dx will be equal to d by dx power x power n minus 1. That is the step which we are doing now. That sorry. Wait. See, basically what we are doing. If y is a function of x power n, then how to write dy by dx? First write d by dx, then write function y. Function y is x power n. Now the differentiation of this will be n x n minus 1. That is what we are doing here. Okay. So difference, one that one more thing we can say here. If x equal to 1, see, if x equal to 1, sorry, if y is equal to, see, we can say like, if y is equal to x, y is equal to x, then what is the value of dy by dx? Okay, then to find dy by dx, we have to write dy by dx, then d by dx, then bracket x. Okay, now d by dx, x is equal to x power 1, x equal to what? X power 1. So it would be what? The differentiation of x power 1 will be, the differentiation of x power 1 will be equal to 1 into x power 1 minus 1. 1 minus 1 is 0, so 1. So when y equal to x, then dy by dx will be equal to 1. Okay, understand? So if y is equal to 1, then dy by dx equal to 1. Fine. Second, this formula, this is the first example I have taken. This is the third example which I have taken. If y equal to x power 5, then the value of dy by dx will be 5x power 4. Okay. I hope you are understanding this. No, where I have written y power n. I have never written y power n. I have written x power n. Y equal to x power n. Okay. Then dy by dx will be equal to dy by dx, d by dx of y. No, if it is y power n, then you have to differentiate with respect to y. Then x will be function of y power n. Okay. Then x would be function of y power n. Then you have to differentiate x with respect to y. Okay. Fine. Like one student have asked me the problem is that if say like this one, if somebody some student has asked me, sir, that if x equal to y power n, then it would be what? Dx by dy. Okay, means d by dy, y power n. Same formula we can use, that is n y power n minus 1. But you have to differentiate with respect to y then, not x. Okay, understood? Okay, so we got first rule, second rule. Okay, we have given some example of first, second rule. Then the third rule. Okay, now third rule is that The third rule is that if y is equal to constant multiply with the function of x, if y equal to constant multiply with function of the x, like don't write this, simply we can say constant c multiply with a function of x, it can be x square, anything, okay, x power n, generalize this, x power n, okay, then dy by dx. Now how to differentiate this? Again, what we have to do, we have to write first dx, d by dx, then write y value, that is cx square, okay. So whenever constant is multiplied with some function of x, if constant is multiplied with function of x, then take the constant outside differentiation, okay. So what we have to do, we have to take the constant outside differentiation c, then have to apply d by dx of x square. Now we can apply the first formula, okay, a second formula, that x square will be equal to what? uh, 2c x power 2 minus 1, which is 2c x is the answer, okay. So that is the third rule. No problem, y is smaller than x, x smaller than y, no problem in that. It is not necessary that it should be smaller on that. See, basically y equal to cx square means what? The function of y with respect to x at that x, means if x equal to 2, then what is the value of y? 4, okay. So differentiation of that would be equal to 2cx, like this, okay. Okay, understood or not? So third rule is important, that if the third rule is that if y is equal to c constant, any constant, constant can be any value like 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, anything, into x square, x power n, any value can be there, then dy by dx will be equal to c, you have to take outside, differentiation of d by dx is x square, that is 2c x power 2 minus 1, that is 2cx, okay. Now one example I can give you for this, okay, like if I ask, tell you, if y is equal to uh, 4x power 5, find dy by dx. Can you get the answer for this? If y is equal to 4x power 5, find dy by dx. Okay. Now 4 is the constant here. 4 is the constant here. Okay. So what could be the answer for this? Yes, I think we got the answer. 20x power 4. Very good. 20x power 4 will be the answer. Very good. Okay. So for to find dy by dx, what we have to do? First of all, write dy by dx. Then write d by dx value of y, that is 4x power 5. Then we apply the third rule, that if constant is multiplied with the function of x, constant can be taken outside derivative. So we have taken constant outside, okay. We have to take constant outside, then we have to write here as what? D by dx of x power 5. Now it becomes x power n form. When x power n form is there, differentiation of x power n is what? 4 into 5 x power 5 minus 1, which is 20 x power 4 is the correct answer. Okay, 20 x power 4 is the correct answer for this particular problem. Okay, understand? Okay, so we have discussed about three rules. First rule, when y equal to constant, then dy by dx equal to 0. Second rule, when y equal to x power n, power rule, then differentiation of dy by dx equal to n x power n minus 1. And the third rule is that if y equal to constant multiply with some function of x, then constant can be taken outside and then we can differentiate the function. Okay, understand? Third rule is not very difficult. Okay, just think on this point. If y equal to 4x power 5, example we can take here. 4 is a constant, is multiplied with function of x. Function of x is x power 5. Okay, then what we have to do? We have to take the constant outside differentiation. So we have taken 4 outside, d by dx x power 5. Now it becomes x power n form. Differentiation of x power n form, like d by dx of x power n is equal to what? N x power n minus 1. That is what we are applying here. 4 into 5 x power 5 minus 1. That is what we are applying here. Okay, understood.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
5 into 5 multiplying it is 5 multi 4 5 multiply with 4
Hello, sir.
20. Yes sir.
Sir, Ranjit sir want to make an announcement to the students, sir.
Okay.
One second.
Hmm.
Ranjit sir?
Yeah, thank you, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so good morning, students. I hope I'm audible. Stanley, sir, am I audible?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Clear, sir.
Yes
Okay,
sir, you are audible. You can speak.
fine. So there is an information for Kamla Niketan school students. I know that there are other students also there in this group, but this information is exclusively for the Kamla Niketan, that is KNMS students. KNMS NEET students are here. I've been getting a lot of inquiries and queries about the school office, when the school office will happen, open, and a lot of other doubts the children were having. Even the parents were calling up. So this is the answer for this. The school office has started functioning. You can go at any time from 9 o'clock to 1 o'clock. That is the best time to go. And you can pay up your first term fee also there. The students, 11th standard students who have taken admissions, and they are also giving the books from the school. So you can go, or your parents, whatever is a possible way, you can do that, because lots of calls regarding this have been coming. So I've confirmed with the school, it is open, many people are going. You can go there whenever you are free, between 9 o'clock to 1 o'clock. That is the best time. And you can get your books also from there. You can pay up the first term fee also in the school. Thank you. Thank you, sir.
Okay.
Okay, so
Sir, you can continue.
we have discussed about 3 rules here. Okay, fine. Now fourth rule is that, now fourth rule is also very easy. Just you have to understand here. Ha, any constant, okay, any, like this is, you just understand my example itself. Y equal to 4. Constant can be anything, can be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1.5, 2.5, 6.5, any value except the function of x. Then you can have to take the constant outside the function of x, and then we can easily do that problem. Okay, that is the third rule. I have just taken this example. It can be any value, like it is not x square value, it can be any value, like x power n, any generalized value we can take here, x power n. Then the answer would be what? Then the answer would be what? See, then the answer would be, if I take any constant value x power n form like this, then it would be what? Nx nc x power n minus 1. Okay, nc x power n minus 1. Ah, proof we can do. Okay, see, basically it is a very long story. Okay, the scientist Galileo was there. Okay, he was the first person who has used the function, who has used the derivative function, and he proved that this x power n is equal to n into x power n minus 1. Okay, by using some experiment he has done. So basically mathematics, the use of mathematics, the need of mathematics comes because of the physics only. That only help, that because of that only we have it is there. Okay, fine. So proof is there, I can prove that also, but it is not in your syllabus, so it's better you just remember uh, whatever I'm telling you. Otherwise proof is there, if you want I will do that. Okay, fine. See, the information which Ranjit sir was telling, that the school has reopened, not office, the school office has reopened. So you can go between 9, I think from 10 to 1 o'clock. Okay, and you can pay up your first midterm fees, and then you can collect the copies, book from there. Like that 11th book is there, na, Seeker's material is there. You can go and collect that book. Okay, That was the announcement which sir has done. Okay, KNMS only for KNMS. Other maybe it will be announced afterwards. No student. Only parents can go there and they can pay up their fees, and you can collect the copies from that book, like seekers material you can take. School is not functioning. Office is functioning only. Okay. Both NCRT and Seekers book, I think both will be available there. So you can collect both the books. Not for all the schools, okay? Only for Kamla Niketan. So sir has told you only for Kamla Niketan school, not for other school, okay? Other schools sir will inform you afterwards, okay? For Kamla Niketan 11th standard, you can go to the Seekers that KNMS office and you can collect the books from there. It can be an NCRT book, it can be NCRT also they will provide, and I think Seekers book also will be provided there. So you can go there, your parents can go there, okay, and they can pay up their fees and they can collect the copies from their NCRT, or NCRT book will be there, Seekers material will be there. You can go and collect that. Okay, it is required because we are doing we are doing the classes now, so you need to have whatever is there. Means if already paid is there, they just go to the office and just go and take the information that what procedure is there exactly. I don't know because I am not in contact with sir. What sir is telling you and that what I'm telling you. Okay, so you go to the office and just ask them what we have to do. Okay, they will provide you with the book and everything. Okay, fine. I will show all the slides when 5 minutes. In last 5 minutes, I will show all the slides. Okay, fine. If you already paid NCRT, school reopen. See, it depends upon government. When government will announce the reopening of the school. Okay, so I cannot say about that thing. You can go, and today also you can. Okay, fine. Okay, next rule is that we have discussed 4 rules here. Okay, now next rule is 10th result. Hey, you can look at the news. Okay, news CBSE will tell you when the result is there. Okay, I cannot tell you CBSE result. It will come within 30 days. I think they have to start correcting the copies. Okay, fine. And remaining, I think 10th paper will not be there. If for some subject is left, I think CBSE 10th paper will not be there. If some subjects are left. Okay. Okay. Now next is I think we have discussed 3 rules. Fourth rule is that addition and subtraction of 2 functions. Okay, addition or subtraction. For both we can apply this rule. Like if I give you, if 2 functions are there, okay, like y is equal to x square plus x. Okay, now we can see that here the 2 function, one function is what, x square, which is added with x. Okay, then how to find dy by dx? Okay, that is the addition or subtraction rule. Find dy by dx. Now to find this rule, okay, what we have to do? We have to do what? Again, dy by dx must be equal to what? D by dx. Then you write both the functions like x square plus x. Now, if addition or subtraction is there, we can multiply d by dx separately on both the functions. Like if we multiply it here, we get what? D by dx of x square plus, now we can see that we have converted into the second rule, x power n form. So whenever x power n form is there, then the derivative of x power n will be n x power n minus 1, which means 2 into x 2 minus 1 plus this is x power 1 form, so 1 into x power 1 minus 1. Okay, 1 into 1 minus 1. So we get the answer as what? We get the answer as 2x plus 1. 2x plus 1. Very good. Okay. 2x plus 1. Understand? So if the two function of x are multiplied or acted, like x square plus x, Okay, then we can differentiate both the functions separately by taking them separately. That is the addition and subtraction rule. Okay, that is the addition and subtraction rule. Okay, we can generalize this. Like one more example I can give you. Like if I say if x is equal to say 2t power 5 plus t square. Now here x is a function of time. Okay, then find dx by dt. Okay, then find dx by dt. Okay, now here if you look at this, we are applying all the four rules which we have discussed. Okay, you can generalize x power n. Okay, no problem in that. Fine. So what is the value of dx by dt here now? So answer would be 10t. Okay, 10t power 4 plus 2t. Very good. Okay, that is the answer. See, to find this dx by dt, we have to write first dx by dt, then write d by dt. Okay, d by dt, function of x, that is 2t power 5 plus t square. Now if you look at this, we have two functions which are in addition. We can separately differentiate them. That is d by dt 2t power 5 plus d by dt t square. Okay, now it becomes t power n form. So we can write here as 2 into 5 t power 5 minus 1 plus 2t, which means what? 10 t power 4 plus 2t is the correct answer. Okay. See, second rule is not very difficult. If the two functions are in addition or subtraction, like example is x y equal to x square plus x, then we can differentiate the function separately. That's what we are doing here. Okay. Like one more example you can take here. Like y is equal to x square minus x power 5. What is the value of find dy by dx? Find dy by dx. Anything is possible. Y is a function of time, t is given to us, then we can differentiate y with respect to t. Okay, fine. It is not, that is why I'm changing the function. Like in the previous problem, I give x is a function of time. Here I have given y is a function of x. Okay, so you don't need to confuse in this. Okay, it can be anything, can be anything. Y as a function of time, x as a function of time, anything can be anything. Okay, again dy by dx will be equal to what? Again write d by dx, write y value is x square minus x power 5. Okay, then differentiate this, we'll get what? D by dx x square minus d by dx x power 5. Okay, differentiation of x power n is what? N x n minus 1 means 2, x power 2 minus 1 minus of 5, x power 5 minus 1. So answer will come as 2x minus 5x square. X power 4 is the correct answer. Okay, understand? Very good. So I think only 1 minute left, so we can see all the slides which we have discussed today. Okay, so we have started from this slide. Okay, this one. Okay, so that is the first slide 82. Okay, fine. Then 83. Okay, 84. 85, 86, 87, 88, 89, 90, 91, 92, 93, 94, 95. Okay. 83 slide you have to see now. See 83. This is 83 slide. Okay. Then 85. Okay. See power whenever x square is given to you. 2 minus 1 is 1 is 4. Simple mathematics we are doing. Okay. 93, 94, 95. Wait. 93, 93, 94, 95, 90, 81. Okay. So I hope you understood. So in the next class, we'll try to finish differentiation. Then I'll give you some homework for you. Okay. So you have to solve the problem. Now I cannot give you homework because I have not discussed full differentiation. Okay. So next class, I will give you homework regarding differentiation. Okay. Fine. So thank you all.